I want to tell you a little story about Elvis Presley. Elvis used to, we worked at the Hilton Hotel where he did. And many a time when we're doing rehearsals or even the show, the stage manager would say, Osmonds, the boss is upstairs. That meant Elvis was up in the light booth, and he was watching us. Well, we go out there, and we wore the same jumpsuits he did. In fact, we hired the same guy to make his. We found out he liked it, by the way, thank heavens. But anyway, we performed, and we got together. He called us on the phone. Every opening night, he'd give us a big guitar shaped, made out of flowers. And we got on the phone and one time and had at least a half-hour call, and he said, I love my mother. She was passed away. He said, I always wanted to be a preacher, too. I learned some wonderful things about that guy. And at one point, of course, we met him a few times, but he said, I'd love to have a party over at my house. Would you and your family come for a barbecue? And of course, we said yes. And it was only a couple weeks before that was to take place that he passed away. After he did, there was a fan came up to me. He says, Alan, I've got something here that belongs to Elvis Presley. I says, you're kidding. He says, I think he would really want your family to have it because he talked a lot about you. And I said, what is it? She showed me. It was a Book of Mormon. It was one of those blue ones, you remember where you open up a little paperback? And she said, his father didn't want it around his house and gave it back to me, and I think Elvis would want your family to have it. So she gave me this book, and I couldn't believe it. And I said, we want to make sure. And she showed me pictures of her with Elvis and how she had given it to him. He had a lot of various questions. He couldn't go out in normal hours, so he came around 2 to 4 in the morning. And she was there and gave it to him. He signed the book. And in the front, remember the pictures of the gold plates that are in there on the very front? He wrote on it, gold records, real ones. Isn't that something? Yeah. And he had a lot of gold records, but these were real gold plates. And then he wrote in there, too, he says, I know this in my heart to be true. And write it on the sides, and underneath. And he says, yes, true. And then over he said that about you shouldn't have kings. No more kings in the land. He says, me too. He was called the king. But a really interesting thing towards the back, on the bottom, he says, my daughter Lisa is 9 years old. She needs this church. Help her. Well, we took the book, and a lot of people looked at it, and I could sense there was a lot of people wanted it. I said, nothing's going to happen to this. And so we went to my wife's second cousin, Rex Pinniger, and asked, and we gave the book to him. And it is in the archives of the church today. We made one copy, and my brother Donnie helped me get that to Lisa in just the last couple of years. But anyway, if you ever worry about being in the business and not accepted, you can say, well, Elvis thinks we're okay.